Hey, what's going on, everybody? Ah, well, let's see. We've got Dylan and Ivan, Be Like Water, Arturo, Gary, Darren, Mad, Everett. Good to see everybody. Nikki, Mary, Tara, Laura, Diana. How's it going, everybody? President's Day. Make sure you spend that time with family. I'm sure everybody's got big dinner plans. Celebrate all the past presidents. Big holiday parades galore. Sure. One of the guys it's a joke. One of the past gurus I used to hang out with, he was always like, "What is it with all these moronical U.S. holidays?" He's like, it's not a holiday unless you're like spending it with family or you're like, or they're shutting down, having celebrations and having parades. He's like, otherwise, what's the point of having a holiday if just to have a day off for federal workers? Come on, you got Saturday and Sunday every week. it always it always amused me um, when he would just go off on a tirade about it every time. He's like, where's the parades? Where's the family meal? Where's the anyway? So these parades that are just or these holidays are just holidays in name, and they don't really nobody really gives a flying flip. We all have to still go to work. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. What's the point? Seems like, I mean, yeah, you should remember the past and blah blah blah. But still, it's like, yeah, I'd rather the market be open and we just have a normal day. Count me in. Count me in. And this week, kind of benign on the news front. Pop this up. Today's a holiday for the markets, although look at all these Fed members. Hey, I thought this was like a federal holiday. Look at this. Look at that bull crap. So they're out there speaking. Have a bank holiday today. Why? I don't know. Just to mess with us, I guess. And tomorrow, not really much cooking. We do have some Empire State Manufacturing. Not really much. This is like a daily occurrence now. You have President Trump going to be out there speaking. I guess him and Elon did an interview with Fox, maybe Sean Hannity. I don't know. I don't watch that, so they did an interview. There were snippets posted that were already pretty hilarious, and I guess that's supposed to come out on Tuesday sometime. So that'll be quite interesting. Trump and Elon sat down next to each other and did an interview. Should be fun. And then FOMC minutes on Wednesday at 2. Remember, this is not the FOMC meeting. This is just the minutes from the last meeting. Happened a couple weeks ago. How aggressive are they on the rate raises or not rate cuts? Or maybe we can glean something out of those minutes so the market may react, or the bots may react when it digests that report. Just be aware. And then normal unemployment, normal, and then Friday, more normal benign stuff. Lots of international stuff. Look at all that. Europe and Great Britain, UK, and then Canada. Yeah. What might be states 51 through 100. My daughter says, quit saying that, Dad. Anyway, it'd be funny if we added like 50 more states, right? Like, we had Greenland and all of Canada and break it all up and make more states. Be interesting. Anyway, that's the week. Not super spicy. Then we have the last week of February coming up after that, which, again, not a ton of stuff happening. We're getting earnings winding down, so we're into this potential drift higher. We're getting PCE right here next week on Friday. Get that one. And then looks like Ethereum Classic is up 5%. That's cool. Why am I, let's see, reconnect my headphones here, maybe? Or maybe they're dead. There it goes. There it goes. So maybe we get some move on Friday. Something to watch out for next week. Otherwise, business as usual in the market. Outside events, unknown unknowns may cause things to get a little hairy. So, cryptos, we're here to talk about that today. Although, funny enough, the market is slightly open here. The futures have been open. If you didn't know, guess what? They opened up last night at 6 p.m. As always. Right there, Sunday, 1800. That would be that candle right there. We're up. Things are looking bright and sunny here. Look at this, going higher. Can we maintain it into tomorrow? Now this will probably close at 1 p.m. I didn't double check, but that's usually the way it goes on a weird holiday like today. Close at 1 p.m., reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and usually we just get a drift. So the market is slightly open and can react, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess before I talk too many trades here, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Hopefully you're entertained, and not a recommendation to be buying or selling anything. If you need somebody to tell you what to do, you're going to have to hire and consult somebody. So jumping back over to the cryptos, there are 11.5 million cryptos. I mean, there's almost going to be a crypto per person here before long in the United States. Everybody can have their own crypto. And what value does that make when there's no barrier to entry? Makes it worth 0 for the average crypto. The 0, so 11.5 million, 99.99999% of those are probably going to 0. Maybe you're like, what about this fart coin? 0. What about you name it? 0. Only real contenders to me are on the top 100. We've got these stable coins down here that's they're going to be pegged at $1. Like they're going to stay right at $1. We've got Bitcoin. It's going to be very hard to unseat that at $2 trillion. Probably going to stick around. This one is floundering. Ethereum. If you're like, oh man, I've been waiting for that to come back, you should tune into the morning show most days. I talk about it, and it's just floundering. XRP. Everybody says it's going to be the next up and coming and replace Ethereum. Maybe. It also doesn't have proof of work and it has a company behind it. And look over here, the supply. Half the supply is being kept under wraps. If they dump that in the market, guess what happens? Supply and demand go in the toilet. And Binance Coin probably going to go up to 1,000. That chart looks pretty strong. Solana, struggling quite a bit. Look, Bitcoin's pretty flat the last 7 days. Ethereum, grinding a little higher. XRP, making a nice move. It did a big correction, but it might be about to do a second leg lower. We'll look at that here in a minute. Tether, of course, flat. And USDC, of course, mostly flat. A little bit more volatility. Solana, suffering here. Dogecoin, that has unlimited supply. I've warned about these. Think about it. Supply and demand. Simple. Supply and demand. If there's no barrier to more supply coming on the market, what is that? It's inflationary. It's like US dollars, right? Like the value is always going to go down. So Doge, they keep pumping out Doge like crazy. And guess what happens? The value goes down. Yeah, just do some simple math. Go look Google up, how many Doge come on the market every few minutes, and then do the math on that. How much money has to constantly pour into Doge just to keep the price stable? And then you have to climb it. I mean, there's 148 billion Doge out there already, and it more and more every few minutes. I don't know. Cardano, just kind of chopping along. And then some of these others, like FedNow, supposedly built on Avalanche, but last week, Powell in his Senate Banking Committee thing said, I've never done anything with any CBDC. We've never done any tests. We've never done anything. So was the whole FedNow story just BS? I mean, you look at the Avalanche chart, maybe. Stellar Lumens. Now, this is an interesting one. Every halving cycle, or the last 3 halving cycles, we've seen Stellar Lumens outperform Bitcoin. Maybe it's set to do that again. Now, it doesn't go anywhere ultimately. Ultimately, it outperforms on the downside too and just chops right back down. It started at about 7 or 8 cents on the bottom, and it's already up 34. Possibly could go up to $1, maybe $1.30, possibly even $1.50. That's some nice upside potentially, but it doesn't have to do jack squat. Now, somebody last week was like, JT, what about this altcoin season that's coming up? It's like, with 11 million cryptos, it used to be when we had a few 100,000 cryptos, yeah, you could see an altcoin season. But 11.5 million cryptos, I don't think there's gonna, altcoins may be played out at this point. Like this, too many people figured it out. Got too easy to make coins, and now people are skeptical getting into anything. So anything below the top 10 may not perform. May not see anything perform. May not see much below the top 5 perform. So I would be very careful. We've got, and then the other thing, everybody's like, all right, how easy is it to get into cryptos? So we have 795 exchanges at this point. Where do you go to buy 11.5 million cryptos? Well, there's the coins. Here's the number of markets. Markets are like pairs, like Bitcoin, US dollar, that'd be a pair. That's a market. Bitcoin Euro, that's a pair. That's a market. Bitcoin Ethereum, that's a pair. That's a market. So markets are just pairs of coins. So coins, any of these numbers look, this is the number 1 broker in the world right here. Any of these numbers look close to 11 million? Even close to 1,000? I mean, that's getting a little close to 1,000. There's one with 2,000. How many people traded at MEXC? Probably not many. Not many of you. I'm not seeing anything close to 1 million even. Few close to 1,000, but let's roll on down here. Maybe the big brokers are on down, right? Let's look on down. Nope. There's nowhere to go trade all those cryptos. So how do you trade them? How do 11.5 million cryptos exist if you can't trade them? Right? If you can't go get into them. It's commonly held, we could possibly, I could see possibly 100 cryptos having utility in the world. But this right here, it's the crypto market's about to kill itself right here in altcoins. With the ease of people just pumping out new cryptos, nobody's going to use them. It's just going to be a giant scam. Think about it. Why would you get into anything here? You watched a YouTuber that hyped some bullcrap on YouTube? I mean, I'm sitting here telling you that this is full of crap and don't do it. I'm very skeptical at this point that any crypto is going to do anything. A lot of these charts look pretty horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I don't see utility for most of them. I mean, I go through the charts every week. I do an update called Crypto Power Plays, and lately it looks like a lot of damage has been done to the crypto charts. A lot of damage. I hate to cold dose reality, but it just looks pretty bad out there. So total market cap right here. That's 3 waves down into the roadmap line. What are we watching for? This is just the total market cap of crypto done by TradingView. We're watching for roadmap bounce, break above that 618 resistance, and get continuation up to about that 4 trillion area. That's what I really am looking for right now. Possibly up to 4.2 trillion. Now, those aren't big numbers. If Bitcoin is 2 trillion of this, Bitcoin is 2 trillion. Think about that a minute. We'll go look at this, right? Bitcoin hanging out right here. Number 7, biggest asset in the world. Number 1, gold. $19 trillion right now. 10 times less. It is bigger than silver. That's interesting. And then, where's the number 2 crypto? Where's any other crypto? Oh, there's Ethereum down here, number 40. Takes a lot of energy to get on this list and climb very high. So remember, law of big numbers. Law of big numbers. What does it take for Bitcoin to double? It takes $2 trillion. If you've never thought about this before, 1.918. If Bitcoin was just going to double, Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million? Huh. That makes it the size of gold. It's a 10x, right? Seems unlikely that we're just going to 10x Bitcoin right now. Think about it in what dollar terms. Now, it used to be fairly easy for cryptos to climb when our market cap was small. You could suck in $1 million pretty quickly. Like it doesn't take a huge amount to get on the top 100 list, right? Top 100, 100th right now, $600 million. Get a little hype, $2 out of every American, you can make it on this list. Get a few hundred people with the big money, you can hype it pretty good. So I'm just saying, like, this is time to be very, very cautious in the crypto space. Let's see. I was gonna pull up. Let's see. Not sure what that was. Anybody calling me right now doesn't actually really want to talk to me. Where'd the heat map go? Heat map. Daggone it. Screeners. Where'd the heat map go? I was gonna pop up the heat map for crypto, but I'm not seeing it. Move it all around. Love it. Let's go. Just got stocks over here. Let's see. And it won't let me pick crypto off of this. That's cool. Love it. It's obviously the stock heat map, not the crypto heat map, but there we go. I thought I had it up. So we look at this, right? Year-to-date performance. Bitcoin's up 3%. Ethereum's down 15%. That's a big red flag right there. in a red box. XRP up 30. Doing better than Bitcoin, 10x better. So it's one of those things, like what's actually performing, what's actually doing something. Let's just look at 6-month performance instead of, XRP's up. You turn off the things that are down. That's a lot of coins moving. Quite a few. Solana's up. Ethereum's up. Doge up 159%. Bitcoin's up 63% last 6 months. Not bad. XRP had a nice big pop when they weren't going to get sued out of existence. But it's a company. All right? XRP is like a company. Be careful. I cannot stress that enough, to be freaking careful. Look at the 1-year performance here. Stuff is performing. Bitcoin's up. Where's Ethereum? Ethereum missing. Solana's up less than Bitcoin. People talking about Solana overtaking. Be careful. Dogecoin. It's in there. But you can kind of do this, and then, if you want to see the equal weighting, if you don't know your logos, you can just hover over them a second. They'll pop them up. Pepe's up there, almost 800% up. XRP, there's the 400%. If you never looked at it like that before. And what's down, though? Ooh, last 12-month performance. Avalanche down, Polkadot down, ICP down, Ethereum Classic down, Kaspa down. Last 12 months. Kaspa's been a big for miners. Proof of work, but it's down. The graph, that's an AI coin. Everybody hyping that one. Down. Look how many coins are on this red list. That's a lot of coins. 3% or more down. It's a lot of junk right there. You get 3% or more up. That's less coins. The market's already filtering this out. Filtering this list. It's one of these things, if you're going to get involved in crypto, I'd stay in the top stuff that has some sort of utility. If you're like, oh, I've heard about Fartcoin and, the kids all love it. And it's like, all right, it's just a hype bubble. It's just a bubble, right? When mainstream media, everything starts talking about it, same exact chart as this right here. I got to tell everybody about this. This rally's real. Like, can you make some money? Sure. But you got to get out up here. If we start doing this, it's time to watch out. If you can't name me, I always joke with my copywriter. I'm like, all right. He's like, what about this coin? What about Trump's coin? I was like, name 3 places you can go and buy anything with Trump coin. Name 3 places you can go buy anything with any coin. Even Ethereum, all of a sudden, doesn't have very many places that accept their Ethereum. I've seen there are quite a few places that accept Bitcoin. Even that's getting a little sketchy lately. Where's the utility? That's a tough question, right? So when we look at this, we're sitting on the roadmap line. We could reject off of here, and the party could be done. There may not be, like this, we may be done. That may have been the high. Could be done. Be kind of a bummer. We didn't really make any kind of extension. We're like, JT, I thought you were really bullish on crypto. Look, we already made the 618 extension on the market cap. We already did that. We got close to that. Total 2, take out Bitcoin. This starts looking a little more bearish if you've been here very much. Starting to poke through today, but that's not looking super spicy right there. It's not the best looking chart. It's not one I'm like, oh man, look at the opportunity here. There's the big resistance. We could pop it, turn down, break below that low, and the party's over. Now we take out Ethereum. So this is without Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm not trying to be a hype man. Like this is, I want to make money, right? I'm a trader. I want to make money. These charts are telling me to be freaking careful. That's my point. All right. That's the big takeaway from today. All of this. These charts are telling me to be freaking careful. That could reject. Get above it. Cool. We can go on an expansion. You can take out Bitcoin and Ethereum. What do you got left? You got $900 billion. Out of the $3 trillion up here. Take out the top 10 cryptos, you're down to $200 billion, 277. And what do we got? We're under the roadmap line. Why am I concerned about the coins that aren't in the top 10? That does not look very good. We only got to the 1272 right there. Turned down violently. Getting large downside candles. We're not even that far above the lows from back here last year. We didn't even make a higher high. Right here. This is why I warn, all right? This is the warning. That's 3 moves up. One big move, one retrace, one big move, lower high. Busting down. If we break down below this level where we kind of back tested just like a week ago, party's over on altcoins. So if you're chasing down the latest butt coin or fart coin or PP coin or whatever it is, meme coin, thinking that somebody's got some, even Trump coin, like that's. Did you see Trump coin in this list right here? I mean, Trump coin, Trump coin, Trump coin, Trump coin. I don't see it. Oh, there we are. All the way down at 33. It's not in the top 10. And look at that supply. Only 20% of the supply out there. They could dump 80%. That goes in the toilet. Somebody's holding out 80% of that. That's a giant risk. Be careful. It's not like opportunity for the rest of that to come on the market. It's just like dollars, They dump 80% more supply on the market. Guess what? Eggs go to $12. Just cold dose of reality here. This is not overly bullish. You look at the total market cap chart, potential to go higher. Potential. Could be doing a roadmap bounce. What's the stuff that looks like it might be going higher? You see the big pullback. We already hit that 1272. We retraced the breakout. Classic price action. All the same. Like this is always the same. Potential to expand it right there. 4 trillion. What's going to be most of that money? Bitcoin. Just cold dose of reality, okay? Ethereum has dropped off to about 10% of the entire crypto market. Bitcoin's sitting at 60%. Ethereum sitting at 10%. So 70%, the other 30% is everything else. Just be careful. Nothing has to go anywhere. Nothing has to do anything. This could be done. Potential. Now I like to look at this one right here. This is an interesting thing right here. We were talking about gold being 10 times bigger than the Bitcoin market right now. So what happens if you divide Bitcoin by gold, right? How many Bitcoins can you get per an ounce of gold? What this does is it cancels out US dollars. And take out US dollars and takes out US dollars out of gold. This is priced in US dollars. This is priced in US dollars. When you divide them, US dollars cancels out, and you have Bitcoin per gold, ounce of gold. So right now you can get 33 Bitcoins, 33.2 Bitcoins per ounce of gold. What's interesting, despite gold being super crazy spicy, look at this chart. That looks a lot like the other charts we've been looking at. Kind of takes US dollars out of the mix. Got this high, we've got this low. We came up just shy of the 1448. Let's look at it last time. Got this high, got this low. We came up despite the fact that it seemed like in dollar terms, we came up shy of the target last time. In the Bitcoin halving run, we actually peaked out at a really spicy level when you look at it in gold terms. It's just that dollars weren't really playing out properly. So we look at it this time. There's the potential for this to come on up to like 54, 55 Bitcoins per ounce of gold. Potential. If Bitcoin's going to keep going higher. Doesn't have to. Could be done. Could have topped out. We could have found a kind of a market top here around 30 to 40 Bitcoins per ounce of gold. We bottomed out down here at around 9. Gives us opportunity to go higher, but we don't have to. And if we got up to those levels we got before, we can see something up here around 82. Now, what kind of price would that bring on Bitcoin? Well, it's 82 Bitcoins per ounce of gold. The price of gold in dollar terms and the price of Bitcoin in dollar terms, the dollar is irrelevant. It's kind of interesting, right? When you think about it that way. How do you take dollars out of the equation? How do you take any fiat currency out of the equation? Price it in gold. Right now, we're holding really strong. Like this is what we want to see if we're going to go higher. Hold that support. Nice 3-wave down, right into it. So we're looking for this to come up off the mat, break back above the 618 level, and get continuation higher. 41, 42. Now, ways this could play out. Bitcoin could stay flat and gold pull back. Bitcoin could rally in dollar terms and gold could pull back in dollar terms and really project this higher quickly. All right. If the thing we're priced in starts making crazy moves, it can move this thing quickly. If gold keeps rallying, Bitcoin stays still, this goes down. And gold priced in dollars goes up, Bitcoin stays still, this breaks down lower. If They both go up. This stays flat. Possibly climbs a little bit if Bitcoin outperforms. Interesting, right? If you've been following me, if you've been here last week, I'm kind of thinking gold might have topped out. So if gold pulls back and Bitcoin stays still, we can see this rally up here. If Bitcoin actually goes up a little bit while gold's pulling back, we could see it rally up here. Interesting, right? Interesting. So be careful. That's always permacautious, right? Watch the things. Now, another interesting one. You can do this for any Bitcoin and oil. Take dollars out of the equation. We're hanging right at the resistance here. This pulled back really fast in oil terms. Sitting here, sitting here. We're going to get an expansion here. So you can get about 1,000. Oh, yeah, 1,300 Bitcoins per barrel of oil. No, other way around. 1,300 barrels of oil. Yeah, I had that reversed on what I was saying. It was 33 ounces of gold. That's 1,300 barrels of oil per Bitcoin. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. 1,300 barrels of oil per Bitcoin. We could go up to 15, 16, 17. Same kind of situation. Zoom out and look at it. What we do last time. That big thing messes with it where oil went negative. Creates an asymptote. Just kind of look at it though. Had this big spike before. Had the big trough in here. We came up to 6.8 level. Spiked up big. Made the lower high. Right there. I like to look at charts a little different way. Like we're still used to pricing everything in dollars, but what happens when you take the dollar out of it? Look at that, perfect pullback. Perfect pullback. Now we're on an expansion. We're getting up near levels where we might top out. We could rally on up to 2,100. It's possible. Possible to see that. Everybody talks about the petrodollar. Well, what if you take the dollar out of it? Use the petro to price your Bitcoin. It's kind of interesting, right? Things that the world finds valuable, oil and gold. So let me know in the chat if you're finding this conversation beneficial. If you look at barrels of oil per ounce of gold, this thing tends to be pretty stable. Slight climb. Slight climb, but tends to be pretty stable. Get a little volatility in here. We might be nearing a top. Could get something crazy. When we think about pricing things in gold terms and oil terms, these are the things that the world finds valuable, right? If you don't think so, I'm welcome to hear your opinion in the chart or in the chat. We might be nearing somewhat of a top here. This could do another look. Look at the spikes here. Look at the frequency of the spikes. We could be nearing another spike. Interesting, right? Interesting? I think it's interesting. I find these alternate charts very interesting. You can do math on tickers just by typing it in. You know, GC is gold. You can use all these operators over here. You can create your own index. You can mess with stuff all you want. Divided by oil futures right there. That's all I did to create this chart right here. What if you wanted oil on top? You just type in oil first, then you type GC second. Then you get the flip of it, you know, the inverse of the chart. 0.02 ounces of gold, gold on the bottom, 0.02 ounces of gold per barrel of oil. And seems to be declining. Did go negative back here in 2020. So when I talk about the Ethereum chart being kind of not great, think about all the ways I look at the market all the time, every day. What did this do? There's the high. Here's the low that we've got right now off of that high. Look where we stopped. Look where we are. This is why I'm not sure that anything below Ethereum can perform. If that's it, look where this puts us, potentially. I'm going to put the chart in log mode because that goes negative. Potential. Right there. Look at those numbers. Triple digits. You may be saying, no freaking way. But if we break down below these lows right there, might be heading right down in there. This one may not come back. May not make new highs. I'm very cautious on that right now. Very, very cautious. Doesn't look very good. Doesn't look very good at all. And when we run through all these other cryptos, you see that over and over and over. Everybody's like, well, what about XRP? You know, blasting off, taking out, you know. Look at this chart. It's not exactly the best looking chart. And then it's controlled by a company. Look what we've got going on here. That move up. And that move up. Look. That's an equality correction right there. If you've been around, you've watched my patterns. We tend to echo moves. That move might be about done. Continuation of the trend. If the trend's down, this was a correction. 3-wave, 1, 2, 3. Where's the continuation? Remember, higher highs don't necessarily negate a correction. We could cruise right back down here. If crypto's done, that's probably where we're heading. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot of people. Avalanche. When I thought that we were doing the bullish thing, you know, the government's going to build this Fed Now thing and potentially take it higher. But when you look at Avalanche here, looking a lot more like Ethereum, we stopped right on the resistance there. Potentially making the first moves down. Lower lows. Ugh. Nasty. Nasty potential. Just, it's really funky at this point. I don't, I'm not sure that with all, it's like I said, the crypto industry may be destroying itself by putting millions of cryptos on the market every day. Why would you want to invest in it? This is starting to look like 5 up. What happens after 5 up? 3 down, hold of support, and then we go again. Maybe. Solana didn't pop on out, hit the upside targets yet. There's potential. We hold in here and get the last little bit if Bitcoin can go higher. So this one may ride along. That's only like a double from here. And there's possible XRP goes even higher. Like I talked about the poor look of it, but the downside look. But if you go from that high to that low, potential $5. Maybe 7 if we got really crazy. Going to 100? Probably not. Probably not. Somewhere in that zone would be all I would expect on the upside if we're going to get continuation. Just cold dose of reality. We're near the end of this. Like, I know, like, the time to buy didn't seem like a time to buy. When Bitcoin was at the lows, it didn't seem very, like, it seemed like a lot of risk. We pulled back a lot, 80% down. But we do that every time. We go look at this trough back here. In dollar terms, that was the time to be buying. Right in there. We look at this now, that big pullback. We're at the targets. What do I always say? Be careful when we're at the target. We might push it on up to this 150, 170 area. We might retest it to the breakout. Ooh, that'd get a lot of people really bearish, wouldn't it? We go retest the breakout. We're holding that $100,000 area pretty tightly. Could take a spill down here. Retest that. Turn higher. Things to be careful of. I didn't quite get that. Being sloppy here with my price action. So be careful, all right? That's the main takeaway here. This doesn't have to go higher anymore. Like that classic target, right? We do the pullback, we come up, we make the expansion, hit the target. We didn't even stop at the 1448, so we stopped dead right at the 1272. Could pull back, could retest the breakout. Classic human psychology price action. That's a 30% pullback from where we are right now. Then if we rallied up, could be 140% upside. If we just go from where we are now, only about a 50 to 70% upside. Compared to where we are at the bottom. Holy cow, that was 500% upside. So the opportunity was here. Now you're late to the party. Hate to say it, but party's got a little bit left to go. A little bit. All right. There's only so much money in the world. You know, yeah, we can print more money. We can make more money. We make more dollars. But when you look at it in gold terms, we don't make a ton of gold. Well, we find a ton of gold, lots of tons of gold, but Gold's a relatively fixed commodity that we put value in. Oil too. So when you look at these things in dollar, when you take the dollars out, look at them in gold and oil terms, gold hasn't broken out really. We did from that last expansion. We may need another pullback. 47.50 may be the top. If we see this break on out, come on up here. That could be the top this time. What do I think about the rest of cryptos? You got to be really careful. We might, 11.5 million. Look at that Fartboy broccoli. You're kidding me right now? Just stupid stuff. Stupid stuff. You got kids just playing around with real money. When's the last time we saw this? Well, we saw this in the dot-com bust. We saw this. We see this all the time. People get hyped up, get sucked in, and then it goes bust. So we're seeing this like low barrier to entry. This is like my big red flag. This theme occurs over and over. How many people saw like marble slab companies, ice cream companies, all over the place? Tons of marble slab places. You used to be able to get ice cream everywhere. Froyos. Tons of Froyo's places. Now, where are they? They're gone. Donut places. Cupcake places. It's the same human psychology thing. Like, oh man, I can make money. I'm going to get in. Same human psychology over and over. Happens in the market, happens in crypto. That's what we're seeing play out right here. Low barrier to entry. Don't get sucked into all this bullcrap coins. Can you make a quick buck? Yeah. Make your quick buck, get the fudge out, move on. All right. Hope it was helpful. Sorry to put a cold damper on the crypto market. I'm very leery right now. Things are not looking super strong. We might get a little extra on Bitcoin, make a ton of money if you're in the right stuff. If you're not, you get crushed. I think when you look at the miners, like the companies that are doing mining, like Mora, Riot, Hut, Bitfarms, most of them are hiring consultants to evaluate moving to AI data processing, contract AI data processing. Get out of the crypto mining. That's interesting. Most of the hardware they've bought is application specific. They call it ASICs, application specific integrated circuits. That hardware is application specific. You don't just take those ASICs, application specific integrated circuits, and decide to do something else with them. No, they're designed to do SHA-256, which is the way we mine Bitcoin, the way we authenticate Bitcoin transactions. So they're going to have to buy all new hardware to do data processing. You'd be like, well, I thought they had GPUs. Not many of them actually have very many GPUs. They have a lot of ASICs, which were specifically bought to do the SHA-256 hashing algorithm, which is the way you authenticate Bitcoin. It's the way you mine Bitcoin. Sure, they have power. They have contracts for power, stuff like that. Maybe that's the value. They have data centers. They have, the resources, but they're going to have to take out all that equipment, huge cost, and buy new equipment to put back in there. They may have the infrastructure, but they don't have the actual equipment. That equipment is going to cost billions of more dollars. And it devalues just as fast. Think about it. NVIDIA putting out new series of hardware every year. Getting faster, better, slicker. Just be careful. A lot of those mining companies may not make it. It's like next best thing. Kind of like the donut companies, kind of like the marble slab companies. If it's click the bell for you, hooked into something you never thought of before, let me know in the chat. I appreciate the feedback. But this is the way I kind of think about the world. Like, There's hype. You got to get not. You got to do your darndest, your hardest to cut through the hype and not get caught up in one of these. Especially don't get complacent and ride it back down. Right there. Be careful. Be careful. Now, I do warn too about the governments and all that accumulating large chunks of Bitcoin. And right now, there's people out there warning how centralized it's getting. It's not really very centralized at all. There's still 90% of the Bitcoin is held by small wallets and small individuals. But as we get concentrated, that risk profile could change. Now, the thing people count on is that people that hold Bitcoin controlling the Bitcoin market. That's not necessarily true. Anybody that runs the Bitcoin software votes on controlling the Bitcoin network. It's not the holders, it's the people running the nodes. So the more people running nodes, the more control you have. Now, if miners get out of the game, that kind of opens up. Every one of those miners had a vote. Once they stop being miners, stop running nodes, that opens up other people to potentially try to take control of the network. If you can run your own node, you can be your own vote in the network. It's kind of interesting that way. You can run as many nodes as you want, as long as you got the computer resources and have as many votes as you want. That's the democracy of the Bitcoin network. It's not about who controls the coins. It's about nodes on the network. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll be back with you tomorrow when the market's open again. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9:15 tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Look for actual stuff moving, for opportunity. This opportunity might be nearing played out. Be careful out there. Remember, the account you save may be your own.